welcome to Daniel's Family Adventures. We're going to do something a little different for you today. We're actually going to share a family recipe. It's a vegetable goulash. And why we do that is we're getting into the fall season and we're wanting to prepare for winter. We want to enjoy the fresh vegetables. So what we do is we actually make it, it's kind of a soup made from all remaining vegetables from the season. We actually go to a farmer's market. Everything becomes very cheap at that time, and you can actually put it all together in something you can enjoy throughout the winter. What we'll do is we're actually going to pressure seal it in jars. We call it canning, but it's done through jars, and we're going to explain how to do that as well. To make this vegetable goulash, you'll need fresh ground meat. I have 10 pounds of ground meat here for that. We season it with salt, pepper, and Filipino gold, which is magic syrup. It's delicious. If Americans need to find out what this is, because it has fantastic flavors, you can put it on everything, meat, soups, and even ice cream. Anyways, it's delicious. Mild to hot banana peppers. We got fresh white onions. We got red tomatoes, green tomatoes, which kind of gives a little bit of a tart, soupy taste, and the Filipinos will recognize it more of sinigang. It gives a little bit of a sour taste, and zucchini to make this. And what we're doing is we're going to prepare it. We'll actually show you how we prepare it, and we're going to share that with you all the way down to the canning process. So stick by, watch, and hopefully you enjoy. Prepare the onions. You see I've been cutting them all along here, but again, you just go ahead and cube them. Again, they don't need to be real small or anything because they cook down. We're just going to add some flavor, but I don't put a lot of attention to these. But
rocks. You call them rocks. It's time to go outside.
that's pretty much it.
It's time to go outside.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and prepare the meat. What I like to do is I put it in, again, it's in large lump form. I put it in using a tool from Pampered Chef. Like I said, I suppose you can use just about anything, a spatula or whatever, but I like to break it up so it's in smaller pieces, not large clumps. But I'll continue to do this till it's broken down. And once it kind of starts cooking up some of the fat, I will add the onions. There's no reason to pre-saute the onions because we're putting this into a soup form, and it's going to cook for quite a while, and they'll actually get softened just through the cooking process. So there's no reason to pre-saute it. I'm more worried about breaking meat down and preparing it in smaller pieces. So, okay, folks, as you see, the ground meat is rendering down. It's getting broken up into smaller pieces because, again, I don't like it lumped, but that's all a matter of opinion, I guess, with how you want to actually have it. But we kind of like it broken down a bit. I'm going to go ahead and season it. Again, I'm going to put the Filipino gold, the magic syrup. I usually like to use about 3 packages of it. And trust me, anybody from America, you need to find this stuff because it is delicious. It adds a lot of great flavors. We're going to add some salt, and again, that's all a matter of taste. I'm going to say it's roughly maybe 1/4 cup, probably once it's all done. Some salt. We're going to add some pepper. Again, it's all a matter of taste. Now I'll add some more as we go along. And then I'm going to add the onions. And I know it's kind of backwards from a lot of things, but since this is a soup, we're going to go ahead and add the onions. And this is roughly 3 large white onions. And I'll just stir them right in the meat and let them kind of cook down until they kind of get soft. And the next step would be we're going to render down some red tomatoes, the green tomatoes, and the rest of the vegetables. Now we're going to prepare the tomatoes. The green and red will both be prepared the same. The green's probably a little more important to kind of keep the cube nice, but the red's going to all render down and kind of make the broth for the goulash. So now my beautiful wife prepared the tomatoes and did the hard work and took the core and everything out of it. But basically this is how I'll do it, is cut it down in thirds like that, and that's all you have to do. Again, they're going to all cook down anyways.
I'm gonna teach you what. Slice it this way. Slice.
Why, but it falls apart.
No, it falls apart when you.
My wife's scolding me again.
Try it. You're gonna find out. I'm right. Slice it that way. See?
I have to chase this other piece.
Oh, okay.
she'll edit that out. She's very good at editing, especially when I'm right and she's wrong. Welcome to Daniel's Family Adventures. As you can see, the meat mixture and onions have all cooked down. Everything's rendered down. The onions have softened up and are translucent. We've now got the red tomatoes all cubed up and prepared. We're going to pre-cook those over here because, again, we're going to combine these two pots and mix all the ingredients together. You'll see these red tomatoes actually will cook down to about half that height. It'll all go to almost broth or water. It's very important to pay attention to how small we do cut them, because you want them to cook down, and you'll see the skins and everything will cook down on these. So that's why we do cut them up so small, in case there's a couple skins that do not. But generally you'll see the seeds and everything will disappear through the process. We're going to prepare the green tomatoes. The green tomatoes, like I said, you want to keep them in bite-sized pieces. They're going to stay a little more firm once the soup is done. Like I said, they'll be soft but firm. Firmer. The red, they're going to cook all the way down into broth, like I mentioned. But so what I normally do on these is I'll cut it down half. After my wife is cleaned and cored, I cut it down half. I cut them down long ways. I'll just turn them, spin them. Again, you'll see it makes perfect little cubes and breaks them all up. Perfect bite size. As you can see, the tomatoes are starting to cook down. They'll continue to cook down throughout the whole process. What I'm going to do is, because I make so much of it, because again, we're going to pressure can a lot of this stuff, and we're going to explain that more later. But anyways, I'm taking some of the meat out. You can see what I'm going to do is put some of the tomatoes on this side and put the meat back over here, and then we're going to add the green tomatoes. Let them start actually cooking in here. But anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to even everything out here, so we have equal parts. Or close. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. But this garden goulash, you can add a lot of things to it, but this is what we've kind of gotten accustomed to doing. But again, you can kind of add some of your own ingredients if you want, but this is something that we've really enjoyed, and it's worked out very well for us. So again, it's good starting grounds for anything you might want to do yourself. So you can see the green tomatoes have all been cubed and prepared. They're about ready to go in. I like to put the banana peppers in about the same time as the green tomatoes, because they cook down about the same. So to prepare those, I basically cut off the top core. I run it down the center. Just get a spoon, cut out the seeds. Because as you know, pepper seeds don't cook down and they stay kind of hard and coarse. And then what I'll do is I'll cut them down one more time this way. And I'll just put them all back to back. Again, how much you put in your soup your goulash comes down to how spicy do you want it. Really, it doesn't add a lot of spice, even though these are hot. It's surprising how that cooks the heat right out of them. But anyways, this all comes down to preference. I know there's a lot of different peppers out there. Like I said, again, I like the banana peppers because it puts a good flavor and a little bit of spice. But again, it's not that much. But anyways, basically how you do it. In the words of the wise, don't touch anything personal, your eyes, your anything, because it carries with your hands. So make sure you wash your hands well after handling these peppers. You can see the tomatoes are pretty much all cooking down. It's all becoming a broth in the soup. Like I said, then it'll continue to even break down even further. But at this point, I like to add the green tomatoes and the banana peppers. Just put them in carefully and we'll stir them around. We'll do it to both sides here. Like I said, I might add a few more green tomatoes. We'll wait and see how the consistency is. But you can see it's breaking down into a nice flavorful broth, and like I said, it's a good healthy soup to have, and like I said, we enjoy it all winter long. Once we're done canning this, you'll find out, like I said, we actually have enjoyed stuff that's 2 years old once it's been pressure canned. So. Prepare the zucchini. You can see they're nice cubed, like I said, because they will stay somewhat solid. That's why we don't want to overcook them. So I'll cut off the ends. Like I said, I'll cut them down in thirds. And I turn the flat side down so I don't have to chase it all over. I'll cut it in thirds this way. perfect little cubes, and that's the way they'll remain in the soup. Then they'll be softer. So anyways, we'll continue to get these cut up for you and get them added to the soup here shortly once the green tomatoes kind of get cooked down, and we'll be back to you. As you can see, the soup is getting condensed down and it's becoming, again, more of a thicker product. And now we're going to add the zucchini. It's the last step. Zucchini, you don't want to overcook because it gets really mushy. So I'm going to add this now. I'm adding the zucchini to the condensed soup. This whole process takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The cutting and all, we'll spend 3 to 4 hours on this total process. But the cooking time is roughly 2 hours, maybe 2.5 at most. So at that point, as soon as the zucchini gets soft enough, we're ready to go forward and can the soup. So. Okay folks, we're at the end of the process here, and we actually got goulash. It smells good. It's going to be delicious. Now we're into the canning process. Now the canning process, the process we follow, you need to follow the manufacturer's recommendations, of course, but we're going to tell you how we do it again, but I'm still recommending that you go ahead and follow whatever canning jars you buy and what recommendations they expect you to follow. But anyways, when we go to do it, we actually preheat our jars to 225 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and pull them out of the oven here. We actually pre-wash them and sanitize them, and then we go ahead and preheat them. So again, you're not shocking the jar either. So I'm going to pull them out of there. You got to preheat your jars. Don't take them out until you're ready to fill them. Again, it was 225 degrees. I put them in for at least a half hour. Remember, they're hot. You want them to remain hot, so they pick out what you need. You're going to fill it one time. Again, this is kind of the best way to do it. They actually make these funnels. Most of your mason jar places will actually sell you these. It helps guide the product into the jar. So what I'll do is I usually just do a scooper like this, and I keep stirring it, like I said, before I scoop. Because the stuff that keeps it, make sure it's all suspended and we have a nice consistent batch in the jar. You want to keep the goulash or soup that you're canning boiling at that time. Like I said, because you want everything going as hot as you can get it. Don't fill it all the way to the top, just to the rim, the bottom of the rim there. What's good about doing this hot packing like this stuff, we've ate this stuff 2 years old. It's really nice, especially on a cold day, or if you're in a hurry, you want something quick to eat. Like I said, you can just pull this jar out, and like I said, it's going to remain perfectly just like the day you canned it. What's really good about this is Michelle and I have taken 3-4 hours here putting this all together, and again, enjoy it all into the next year or the following year. Just depends how quick we eat it. But hey, a little bit of work and it all pays off, and I guess I get to enjoy it for a long time. It's something we've been doing for the last, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 years anyway, right? Of course, I've been doing this as a family for years, but I've been doing it with her now. This is a very important step. You've now filled them all to the bottom of the rims here. Again, here. You wipe the top, make sure there's nothing on there, no residual soup or anything on there. Usually there isn't with that funnel that I just showed you. Now you're ready to put the canning jars on. You want to keep them simmering the whole time. The lids, these are the seals. You have to keep them hot again and in a simmering mode. You pull them off, make sure you don't touch the seal. Put it in place. Okay, put them down. They'll guide that lid on. I'm going to snug these down a little bit more, but I'll bring them over here to do that. It's down. Snug them down nice and tight. Look at that. Looks beautiful. What these will do is they cool off, and then when they seal, you'll actually hear them pop. And these here will draw down. They'll actually be concave. You see they're more convexed. And this little dimple will actually disappear and suck down when they're sealed. You can just see everything's mixed in there good. It's beautiful. Okay, we're ready to start another batch. I don't know if y'all can see this or not from the angle, but see the dimple in the center here on all the jars? What happens is when they vacuum seal, they actually, you'll hear it go pop, and like this one here, see how it's gone? It's actually concave. It went flat, or actually, like I said, below. But like I said, that's what will happen. Every one of those dimples that are sticking up, they'll actually pop down when they seal. And at that point, you can let them sit for a couple years if you want. But we're going to see if we can't let one pop and you'll hear it. Okay everyone, we're end up making our garden goulash for the year. Actually it's a fair amount of work, but one thing good about it is once it is pressure canned like it is here now, this stuff is good up to a couple years. You can enjoy this. Like I said, with a simple, again, red tomatoes, green tomatoes, zucchini, you hear them popping. Actually, when they're popping like that, it's telling you they're vacuum sealed, which means they're protected for a long period of time. But it's a lot of good eating. And just like, here's one that's finished up. Give you a you. It's a fantastic blend, and get to enjoy it for a long time. With this being vacuum packed, it requires no refrigeration. You should just keep it out of exposed sunlight. Like I said, and at that point, like I said, keep it in the coolest place in the house where it's again dark. Like I said, not directly exposed to the light. Hopefully you like this type of vlog. We have a lot more we'd like to share with you, but we sure like to hear comments or questions and what have you. If you could, other than that, we'd like for you to like, subscribe, and continue to support us here. And like I said, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
I said a spider.
Huh?